So I hope everybody's doing well. So we are going to take a look and see what you should know about your current situation. So this could be any area of your life. You're just tapping into this reading. You're just wondering and curious about a particular situation that you find yourself in, and you're wanting to see if maybe there's something you're needing to know there, something you've missed. So we're going to use the Kipper cards to pick a pile. So I'm going to give these a quick shuffle. These are meant to be shorter messages, so keep that in mind. Okay, so 4 piles, of course. Let's see what we got. So pile 1, pile 2, and I'll turn these over in just 1 second. Pile 3 and pile 4. Actually, I'm not going to turn these over. We're going to change it up last minute because why not? I'm actually going to pick a charm from the charm box to put with these. Yeah, okay. So, surprise, that's what we're doing. Sometimes we just do things by the seat of our pants here. Okay, here we go. So, pile 1. Y'all have clear quartz. So, clear quartz. Okay. So, that is pile 1. Pile 2. You need to know about your current situation. What is this? Okay. Y'all have the R&B pen. It's doing the right thing. Alright. So pile 3. What do y'all need to know about your situation? Y'all have the little blue sneakers. Okay. And pile 4. And so this could represent a child, of course, right? Okay, pile 4. What do you need to know about your situation? Move these around a little. Oh, y'all have the pair of scissors. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I guess I'm going to leave it right here. Very different. Okay, so there's a little bit of a meditation after the intro, as always. If you want to take a second there and take a big deep breath, make sure that you always then set your intentions. This means to set the intention of needing to hear whatever you need to know for your highest good that would be helpful in your journey moving forward. Okay, remember, these are meant to be helpful, not hurtful. So if it starts to feel uncomfortable in any kind of way, simply click off. You have the ability to do that. You are in control of this reading. Okay, so timestamps for everything will be down below, and I will see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose the clear quartz crystal, so we're talking about your current situation. What do you need to know about your current situation? So for some of you, this may have to do with seeing something clearly with the clear quartz. Being able to clarify something or to understand something could be something that's here. Okay, so let's see what your card is. I haven't looked at this yet. Let's see. Okay, so you have house number 20. So 20 is actually judgment in tarot. So this could have to do with making a judgment call, clarifying something. This could also be renewal energy. Judgment is also about that, redemption or purifying and having a renewal, So with house being here, it's kind of like stabilizing something, clarifying something, making judgment on something. Okay. So with all that Scorpio energy there with judgment. Okay, so we're going to start with just a couple of oracles. I'm not getting too far into detail with the oracles. I just want to get a few oracles out. So we're going to start with the messages of love, which is... I actually thought I picked up a different deck, but since I accidentally picked up this deck, maybe we should use it. So let's just go with it. See what comes out. What does pile 1 need to know about their situation? So we have regret here. I wish this never happened. Unsatisfied. I wasn't happy with the way that things were going, and mistakes. I wish I could right my wrongs. You also have reflection here. So you may be sitting in a place to see being away from you has allowed me to gain clarity. So you may be, now I don't know where you are in this reading. This is just the situation that I'm reading. So put yourself where you see fit, okay? You could be seeing this through someone else. This could be you. So this could be somebody around you, or you're needing to get some advice. So take it all in consideration here, okay? All right. So I do feel like that there's this emphasis on reflecting on mistakes, reflecting on regrets, reflecting on things that you aren't happy about. There's this understanding or trying to reason with yourself or understand yourself or the situation itself, trying to gain a sense of clarity, understanding of what really happened here. You have guilty here at the bottom, so you may be feeling this way. You may be feeling some guilt on you for how things have played out here. It says, I feel pain from the damage that I have caused. Okay, so remember, this can also be someone else. What was I fixing to get here? Oh, the original cards that I was going to pull, which is what's the T. So let's see what's here. What's the underlining energies that are here? Your current situation. What's these underlying energies that are here? There's this, and this could be someone, but there's this overwhelming feeling of sitting and thinking and sitting and thinking and thinking and sitting. And when you're not focused on something else, you're focused on this. Or when you're not thinking about something else, you're thinking about this. It's like maybe for some of you, even at work, you're thinking about this. There may be something that you're thinking about as far as a contract, or not looking into something deeper, or not trying to understand a situation. And this could be what you feel like may have been a mistake, is not trying to understand the situation better. There's something here to do with maybe putting time or effort into something, or not thinking about something clearly before you kind of signed off on that, or something to do with that. Finalize something. But you have this not being happy with how things are at this time, and almost for some of you maybe kind of regretting being in this situation altogether. Like, you know, when you go to a place because you're not happy or you feel guilty with how things turned out, so you kind of go back into that mindset of feeling like, I wish it wouldn't have happened at all, but it did, and because it did, I'm not happy about it. But what mistakes did I make? Why am I unhappy about how things are now? What could I have done better, or what could I have seen, or how could I have kept this from happening in this way? You know, you kind of just reflect. It's just reflect. Trying to gain clarity on where you are now, you know, how things are, where you are, what you should do. What's the underlining energies here, though? Look, grudge holder. Cyber bully. You're being bullied online, or they have suffered from it, etc. Grudge holder. There's a lot of different energies I'm feeling here, but some of you, it could be that there's this fear around this, fear around someone holding a grudge, or fear around someone, you know, I hate to say bullying you, but recognizing or seeing someone holding a grudge could be something that's here. Like, you're seeing that how this has affected someone else, or you're seeing that what has happened has affected someone else. I don't know, you may feel like someone's angry, or you're seeing them act out in a certain way, holding a grudge here, or this is a fear that you have. The Three of Wands, which you see on this card, these three candles, Three of Wands energy, can be like waiting to see, or waiting to see what happens, waiting to see, there's also like distance here, but definitely an energy of just waiting, you know, a standstill, or just waiting. You could be waiting to see how someone is expressing themselves, if someone's still angry here, if someone's upset with you. There's just this energy here of waiting to see. Girl fight is at the bottom. So there may have been some kind of conflict here. This could be with a friend or someone that you're with. It just says arguments, physical fight, at war, and competing. So this could be anybody, right, in your life. But I feel like there's guilt here. And I feel like that there's this, yeah, this is being guilty, or feeling like you've caused some damage here when it comes through this argument or this disagreement or this competitiveness that you've had with someone, you know. This could even be somebody you work with, and you and this person have been competing with each other. This could be somebody that's in your life that, you know, you've been fighting with, or disagreements, or you have arguments here, and there's just some regrets, I feel like, and some acknowledgement of reflection is here. So reflecting on what you see, reflecting on what has happened. All right, let's get the tarot. I'm gonna use the Edgar Allan Poe tarot for y'all. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Pile 1. What do they need to know about their situation? For pile 1. What do they need to know about their current situation? One more for pile 1. What do they need to know about their current situation? What does pile 1 need to know about their current situation? We'll take it. It's the Chariot. Trying to jump out of the deck like that. So this is all intentionable because this is a energy of doing what's for your highest good. That's the Chariot. It's Cancer energy. It's the Emperor sitting in the Chariot and getting control of faith and fear, the darker energy and the lighter energies, and utilizing all of it to reflect, to understand, and to move forward for what's for your highest good. So not wanting to have regrets is something that could be here still, right? 5 of Pentacles with unsatisfied. So this is like, you're not happy with how things are, period. With that 5 of Pentacles that's there, it's like not being happy with how things are. This is also like a feeling of feeling guilty, or someone does, because he's holding his head, right? He's running away with his head. And then here she's holding a box of Kleenex, and they're both tuckled in your arm, like when you hold a baby. You know, it's like there's this idea of soothing. So you could be at a loss right now, you know, with this 5 of Pentacles, and not satisfied or happy where you are. This could be even just in general, but it could just be in your situation that you have right now. Like you've made some mistakes here. You know, this doesn't always have to be with someone, even though I do feel like something's here. But you could be just in life in general, in a place where, you know, you've made some mistakes here. You need to do what's for your highest good and get past these why things have happened or how things have happened, and get yourself kind of more straight and narrow here. But feeling at a loss, not feeling happy about where you are or how things are. Mistakes, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So either somebody didn't handle you well, you didn't handle a situation well, or you feel as if there's something that it's not settling for you. It's not right. It doesn't feel right. It feels off. This feels like I don't like where things left it. I don't like where things have been left, you know? Even if this, like, for instance, the Queen of Pentacles can be a mother, a wife, a boss. So this can be like that kind of energy where, I don't know, there's been something that's tarnished something somehow or another, because the Queen of Pentacles is naturally someone that's very loving and open and very giving, right? She has all her pentacles, and she's freely can give those as she sees fit, or helpful or needed. And in reverse, that she's no longer feeling like safe. She's no longer feeling like capable of giving in some kind of way. So there's this off-putting energy from that, where there's been mistakes that have caused you to close off, or caused someone to close off from you, right? So if, let's just say, for instance, if this was like a boss, then maybe there were some words that you said to one another where you know that you were off-putting to your boss, and that's the place you want to be, right? Okay, so what is reflection here? You have the Devil. So reflecting on the darker sides, right? Reflecting on the shadow. And you can't be in the Chariot and can't be the Emperor in the Chariot taking control of the situation until you do reflect on the shadow, because that's part of one of the Sphinx can't say it, is actually the darker part, right? The shadow side. You can't have the shadow without the darkness when you're trying to gain clarity and move up for what's for your highest good when it comes to a lesson. You have to look at, obviously, the negative, the shadow, the darker side, to find out how you ended up in the position that you're in to begin with, right? Until you discover that, until you kind of work through it and look at it, the Chariot's not going anywhere. It'll just keep going in a circle, trying to stay positive, you know. You have to be able to take the lesson and get them both to be moving in the same direction. That's Capricorn energy. You have Taurus there too, and Cancer so far. Tell me about the grudge holder. You have a Page of Swords in the reverse. There could be some spying or something like that going on. Maybe hearing something from someone else through the grapevine, or just the spying energy that's going on. But this is representing someone that's, there's some sort of dishonesty, or maybe perhaps some kind of dishonesty and not good words with one another. The Page of Swords in reverse tends to kind of like act or say things before he thinks about them, you know. It's just kind of like, this is where undelivered promises come from. This is where getting upset and saying certain things come from. There's an immaturity to it, you know, as well, like not thinking things through. It's just kind of a feeling. This is the Page of Swords. So there's grudge holding here, obviously, when it comes to whatever this is. Cyberbully. Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this has to do with someone overly being excessive, or overly giving, or overly taking in a situation. It can be something that's very imbalanced, like it's not fair that, for instance, it's not fair that you're saying all these things, and I can't defend myself here, you know. It's not fair that things have ended in the way that they are here, or this feels like somebody saying things. Something that's being said about you is not fair. Grudge holder. This is anger. There's anger here. I think this feels like grief. Or loss. I don't know what you're losing quite. For some of you, it could be dignity, it could be pride, it could be person, it could be a actual opportunity, I guess, you know. I mean, I guess this could be anything. As a feeling, though, grudge holder with cyberbully, there's definitely a feeling of unfairness of what's being said, or okay, why is the Chariot here? King of Swords in the reverse. Regret. Regret. Someone regrets either, now we're going back to here, but now it's the King. Regret not acting on something, regret not saying something or doing something. We're talking about swords here, so these are about actions and communication. Acting on a thought. The Hermit. I wish this never happened. This is like, can be like wanting to go back, and this is reflection here with the Hermit, by the way, Aquarius and Virgo. This is wanting to go back and reflect on the past of what you could have done differently. And you know, there's regrets with that, obviously. But at some point, you have to remember that, you know, you can't stay in that energy in order to have change take place, or in order to get to a better place. Like the Chariot, you have to eventually release that regret, you know, because you can't change the past, right? Unsatisfied in the Five of Pentacles, but is not being happy with how things are, though. Ten of Swords in reverse. So there could have been a misinterpretation here that caused some sort of ending. I don't know why the hell I said it like that. I have no idea why I said it like that, but hope it resonates. I don't know, I guess missing, there's something missing something. A decision. Missing something, a decision. I don't know why I'm so drawn to this window right here, but it has 2 swords right there in that window, which is about making a decision or not having a choice in reverse. Not having a choice but to go into another opportunity, or to go into an opportunity, not having a choice when it comes to an opportunity or a decision. This feels kind of like someone making the wrong decision or having no other choice but making a certain decision, feeling kind of trapped or stuck in that. I don't know where I'm going with that, but that's what this is like missing an opportunity or missing something, but not having kind of a choice in that. I wasn't happy with the way that things were. I mean, this is understanding that where things were, you weren't happy with where things are, and I don't feel like you're happy with where things are now either. It's weird. It's like you weren't happy. Well, that could be a revelation, but anyway, it's like you weren't happy with how things were, but you're not happy with how things are now either. You know, it's... Did y'all hear that wind? Change in the wind. Why is the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse? There's the Emperor. I'm not surprised. This feels like that energy. You know, it feels like Aries energy. It's very self-focused, self-reflective. It's someone that's trying to be the leader, the action taker, trying to do, you know, what they need to do in order to get things in order, structured in some kind of way, trying to think about, figure out. It could be what to say. He's, you know, Edgar Allan Poe here. He's writing. The Emperor, that Queen of Pentacles in reverse, with mistakes, and she's got paper there too with the pen. There may be somebody that's trying to figure out what to say, or you're trying to figure out what to say, or you're trying to figure out what action to take, or how to structure something, or get past something. There's a logic, you know, there's a lot of logic behind this. I wish I could right my wrongs. That's this energy. Reflection with the devil, which I didn't even talk a lot about. I don't think I needed to. The devil's the devil, so it's a shadow. So what you're reflecting on here is the shadow parts to everything, which is, I didn't say that. Okay, so now you have Temperance in reverse. So there is some sort of temperamental understanding or experience, and a lack of compromise, empathy, understanding, balance, a lack of balance, which you see it here too in the Six of Pentacles in reverse. That's the devil, okay, here in this whole situation. It's the devil is coming in as Temperance in reverse. Lack of understanding, lack of compromise. So what you're trying to clarify is that, right? That what's the lack of understanding or lack of compromise. But you're being met with here with the Page of Swords in reverse, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Swords. So someone is really in their head about this. Queen of Wands. This is really hard because there is this underlining energy here of trying to, wanting to like react, but trying not to, wanting to be expressive in a particular way, but trying to not. What's the struggle here? What is this? Sagittarius energy with the Queen of Wands. What is this here? No. Well, There could be something here to do with holding a grudge because there's someone giving to something else, like an imbalance in the dynamic. So, for instance, if this is work, like this would be like you feel like your boss is favoring someone over you, you know, in a way, or keep giving them all the projects and you've been asking for them, you know, it's that kind of thing. If this is a relationship, this is most definitely this grudge holding here could be related to that someone giving, someone lying, or someone giving to another. That's going to be the Six of Pentacles in reverse with the Queen of Wands here, because there's a Queen of Pentacles here too. So this could be two different people. But what I asked about the underlining energy that's here, and you have a Knight of Cups and a Three of Swords. So I think someone's hurt here over this situation. And that could be why they're obviously holding a grudge here. Anger and hurt are like one and the same a lot of times, most of the time. You're angry because you're hurting, and your hurting leads to anger, you know. Okay, what's going to happen here moving forward with this? What's going to happen here moving forward with this? There's something about comparison here too, feeling guilty about some comparison. What does that mean? The Four of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This is feeling like having to compete with someone. You feel like there's no way that you compete with that person. Like, why does this guy keep getting all the projects and I'm the one that's is more just lost my train of thought. Anyways, I'm the one that has more experience, you know. I'm the one that's here. Why is this happening like this? This is not the way it's supposed to be, you know. What the heck? There's some kind of guiltiness around this, or competitiveness here, like someone that's kind of, this is where the argument is. Why you're even in that position to begin with. You know, you shouldn't even be in that position to begin with. I shouldn't even be compared to this person to begin with. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. What's going to happen here moving forward? And then we'll get some overall message and initials to close. What's going to happen here moving forward? Eight of Wands in the reverse. The Eight of Pentacles. The Seven of Cups in the reverse. There's a redirection here, like almost in a place of where you're not having a choice. And the Six of Cups. There might be going back to something. Why is the Eight of Wands here? The Three of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, there's an inability. Something's not working. I don't know what this is. Okay, just put it how it resonates. What's going to happen here moving forward? There's something here that's not working out, not working for your benefit. There's a broken contract or commitment here. There's something here that's not working, basically. And the Eight of Wands in reverse is showing me that there's either a delay here, or I think it's a whole shift. I think what's shifting is whatever's you're in the process of right now, somehow or another isn't working. I don't know what that means, but the Eight of Pentacles is saying it's kind of like redirecting your focus onto what is working, or what could work, or what you want to work on, or what you want to move forward with. Because whatever this other thing here is with that Three of Pentacles in reverse is not coming together. Page of Cups. So there's some kind of message around this not working. And then you have this wanting to work on something here. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This could have been a lost opportunity, opportunity that you already had, that you passed up, or that you put on hold. Could be another, you know, opportunity as far as a career, relationship, home, maybe. This is what this is. Why is the Seven of Cups in the reverse? This could be like, you know, this isn't, I didn't want to have to do this, but I feel like I need to do this, or you know what, I still have an opportunity here, or to move forward, to make some kind of progress here. So it's like not willing to give up on something. Why is this 7 of Cups here? Look, you go backwards too. You're going back to something here. You have 8, 7, and 6. Why is that 7 of Cups here in reverse? It's the Ace of Cups. You have 2 aces down here at the bottom. This is not interested in anything else. Not wanting to, like, this is also not wanting to fall in some kind of illusion to something, you know, or coming out of some kind of fantasy or idea of how something could be. It's like, this feels like a wake-up call. This feels like waking up to something, realizing something. And for some of you, this could have to do with not wanting anyone else, or not wanting anything else, or not interested. I'm not interested in anything else. I have what I need, or have what I want. Why is the 6 of Cups here? The Page of Pentacles. So this is learning a lesson when it comes to, this is a soulmate energy, okay? So there's this idea of learning something through a connection, or learning something from the past, or through the past that you've experienced. Learning from your past experiences. Why couldn't I get that out right? I don't know. I have no idea why. Okay, so tell me about that Ace of Pentacles. What is that moving towards? The 3 of Cups in reverse. So this is like getting over this, basically. This is moving past this. Wanting to move past that. Wanting to move past that opportunity that was passed by. Wanting to move past whatever happened, you know. Just move on past it. Ace of Cups in the reverse. Ace of Wands. This is starting over. This is starting over, having a different idea or a different spark. The Fool in reverse. Things will be different here. Yeah, because there's been lessons that have been learned from the past. How's the Page of Pentacles here? Ace of Swords. Look at that. Definitely a new beginning. New opportunity, new beginning, renewal. Going back to something that you lost an opportunity to or with. But there's also like this disconnect that's here too. Death. Yeah, there's some kind of disconnect or ending. And then there's this new beginning, new opportunity that's here. Why the Ace of Wands though? With that. The Queen of Cups in reverse. Oh. So this could be like a gradual start, a slow start to something. This is like where you're not rushing in, or you're not throwing all your eggs in one basket, or you're not putting all your emotions into something. It's just like having an understanding and not being naive or not being ignorant to a situation, not opening yourself up completely to something because you've learned the lessons of the past. So this is more of a gradual phase into something else, right? There's also a clear understanding that you have here with someone about what you've learned, about who you are now. Yeah, and you have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, which is again a card of not being happy with how things are. So you're trying to manifest something different. I'm not happy with how things are. I want to try to manifest, or I want to try to use all the tools that what I've learned to create something different in the moment, in the present moment, and moving forward. And that's what you're doing. That's what's here. Okay, so advice. We're going to use a, this is Wild Offering Oracles. Okay, so let's see. So judgment here for you guys is about making a judgment call to, start over, or have some kind of security, some sort of foundation or growth here. Okay. Self-acceptance. Yeah, there's something here to do with your shadow side that you are kind of reflecting on and accepting about yourself. That's here. That's part of this, what you've learned. This Ace of Swords, this Page of Pentacles. Self-acceptance. Nothing is more exhausting than endlessly working on yourself. When you offer your whole being fully to love, self-acceptance arises spontaneously. May I rest in our oneness, dear Divine. So accepting yourself, maybe someone else too, accepting who you are is part of this. Someone knowing who you are and accepting who you are and giving that chance or opportunity. What other? Okay. Came out really weird. Let's see what we have. It's an affirmator. It's a bonus card. It's Sanctuary, which you'll have house here. Self-acceptance, Sanctuary. There's something here to do with accepting who you are and not who you're wanting to be. That's important. Anyway, good for you. It seems that you've earned some time away from the chaos of life. It could be as small as a bubble bath or as big as a trip. Or maybe it's a small trip to a big bubble bath, or a normal sized trip to a tiny bubble bath. Or maybe you tripped and fell in someone's bath. Whatever it is, it's waiting for you with open arms. Just pick your favorite sanctuary and unplug for a bit, especially if a bath is involved. Okay, so sanctuary could be that. The real underlining thing that you're seeing in this reading is the need for peace. Okay, which is your sanctuary, your house, your foundation, your self-acceptance, all of that. Peace. Okay. So y'all have, and loyalty is important here. Being loyal to someone or representing yourself as a loyal person is something that's here. Also, though, pride, pride and guilt, pride, something hurting your pride or your pride getting in the way or someone's. So you have the owl here. So he's kind of rolling his eyes, though, which I was just now noticing. But a higher wisdom, or, like I tell my son all the time, if you think you know everything, you'll never know anything. Because he does. He's really smart and well knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. But he's like that so much so, then you think, oh, he's so smart. He learns about things. But, learning about things can make you smart, but it doesn't mean you know everything. You have to try to remind him of that when he's has a certain type of behavior going on. But anyway, that's important here, knowing that there's always things in life to still learn. You're always learning. Even if you have a lot of good, useful tools and information and experiences and paths and things that you've learned, there's always more. There's always different dynamics, different situations you find yourself in. Our world itself is adapting to all kinds of crazy stuff now. And so we're all kind of learning as we go. And that's just a part of this, Chew, something to chew on. I don't know why that just popped out, but CHEWMAJUHFNG. And that's it. Okay, guys, so I'm going to leave you right here. And thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck to you guys with this, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 2. So if you chose the pin that says RB, doing the right thing. I don't know where this came from. I don't know where this came from. I don't know what that means. If this is like something crazy, I don't know. I go to antique shops and they have these big bag of buttons. And so this is where that came from. But doing the right thing. So RB could be important. But doing the right thing. Okay, so there's pile ones. This could be a situation that we're tapping into where perhaps maybe you're in a position to where you're trying to figure out to do what's the right thing to do, or maybe you're needing to do the right thing. Okay, so let's see what your card is. This is the Kipper card. Thoughts, number 16. So you could be sitting in a position where you're trying to make a decision here. You're thinking about what's the right thing to do. 16 is the Tower in Tarot. So it could be like you've had a Tower moment here, and now you're sitting here thinking what's the right thing to do here. There could be somebody in particular you're thinking about. All right. So we're going to start pulling cards. I'm going to start with some Oracle cards, and I think we'll go with the Love Oracles for y'all. And then we may get some What's the Tea as well. Okay? So, what's your current situation? What is your current situation here for call 2? Signs and synchronicities. So for some of you, maybe you've been getting a lot of signs and synchronicities here, and this is why you're on, you're thinking about doing the right thing, or you're thinking about this. What is the right thing? Someone doing the right thing. It says coincidence, signal, hint, message from the universe, text message. It's the second time I've seen that. So you may be trying to figure out what's the right thing to say, or what's the right thing to do as far as communication goes, or telling someone something in particular. It also says news, phone call, direct message on there. Divine intervention. This is that Tower energy. So you could be the one that's contemplating causing the Tower here. It says serendipity, catalyst, supernatural, and karma. And breakup. Some of y'all may be thinking about breaking up here with somebody or separating yourself with someone. But this could also mean like that's already happened, and now you're thinking about intervening here in some kind of way. What is going on here? Okay. Healing is at the bottom, so this could be a healing situation. So we're going to get some What's the Tea. Let's see what the underlining energies are here. It says walking away, ending, separation, and it's over. And then healing says wounds, improving, mending, and progress. What's the underlining energy of this situation? Too busy winning. What's the underlining energy here? Marrying for money. I don't know, materialistic energies here, like very materialistic. Someone being very materialistic, talking crap is at the bottom. I feel like this feels, it feels like you're thinking about someone in this way. And this could be somebody that you're with, or somebody that you've been with. I don't know, I feel like you're thinking about somebody in a very, like, they are materialistic. There's something to do with seeing someone in this way. And feeling like there needs to be some kind of, there's something to do with karma here too. But seeing someone in a particular way, and feeling almost like that person is not who you thought they were. They're not healed. They're not making any progress. Okay. They could be, this idea of not who you thought they were just keeps kind of coming out though. You could be in a place where you're trying to decide, should I stay or should I go? Just popped in my head. Okay. Now, I actually pulled these prior to y'all's reading because I don't know, I felt called to these for y'all. So this is the, and I can't even say the name of it, Mystical Moments Tarot, the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Okay. So what is going on here? Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? Want you back. There could be someone here around you where there's this back and forth tug and pull, and this person may be wanting you back, but you may be like looking at them, evaluating the situation and thinking, I don't know, like there's something missing, or you just feel like that if you do go back, it would just be like a surface level type of relationship, or there's something about how you're seeing this person that's not the same. Okay, one more shuffle. Can you tell me about this, please? The situation here with signs and synchronicities. Two cards just came out. The Seven of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You're thinking to yourself, should I protect myself in this situation? Because I feel like that this is not going to, I don't feel like that this is going to go in the right direction. There's this feeling that you have of knowing that something is like not meant for you, because this is like, you don't want to go down through another cycle. You know, why is text message here? So the timeline might be a little different here for you guys with this situation. Why is text message here? The Empress in reverse. Tell me about that. Libra, Taurus. The Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I feel like you're waiting for something from someone that's never going to happen. Like this would be like waiting for someone to embody a particular person and grow up and move on, you know, that kind of feeling. But it's like you're waiting for that. It's never going to happen. Like that's just not going to happen. You've waited long enough. You've sat here long enough. Like this person, something to do too here with a codependency. Like you feel like this person is someone that perhaps could end up being very codependent. And then, I don't know, it's just the whole situation in itself feels like something that you did not expect. Like initially you saw this person in a very different way. Why is divine intervention here? The Five of Pentacles. That's like being at a loss, not having what you need. Divine intervention is taking place. So this is like karma that happens, like an intervention happens because, hey, you know what? This relationship is not and does not have what I need. Tower moment. Aha moment. I don't know if I should continue to keep fighting for this. Every sign around me is telling me it's not going to work. You know, why is this Five of Pentacles here? The King of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, you're not invested into this situation emotionally in the same way. Or you feel as if this is someone that you feel like you don't align with, you can't trust. The emotions don't feel the same. You know, it's missing something, right? And you're realizing that this is missing something. Why is breakup here? Death in reverse. So this could be somebody death in reverse is like resisting an ending. With breakup here, it's like maybe you've been resisting this. You've been resisting this ending taking place. Scorpio energy here, it talks about transformation. Also, we're fixing to go into, nope, we're here already. Yeah, we're definitely here already. Scorpio season. So something significant could happen around Scorpio season, or you just feel like this is the time, like this is what you need to do, you know. Why is death here in reverse? King of Swords in reverse. I feel like that you know what you should do, or you know what you need to do, but you're having a hard time actually following through with it. Actually expressing it or communicating this is difficult. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You may have you feel like you missed your chance or opportunity to be expressive. This is kind of like falling in line of like regret. Like, man, I should have just ended it when it ended. Or I should have just stopped when I was ahead. It's this feeling of, I don't know why I continued this or whatever. It's almost like you made things harder on yourself than what they need to be. It's that kind of a feeling to it. Ace of Pentacles in reverse is realizing something's not working out. The opportunity is just not there. Why is too busy winning and marrying for money here? And this could be you. Maybe your priorities are totally different. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Not having what it is that you need. What you want could be very different from what this is. I feel like this has to do with your focus being elsewhere, or you need to focus on something else or something like that, right? Ten of Pentacles in reverse is when you're basically, you don't see the potential in something anymore. That's kind of where we're at. You just don't see the potential in this anymore. Or, your finances or your stability is your primary focus here. What's the Ten of Pentacles in reverse? The Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, it's not being happy with the foundation that you have. How are you seeing this other person that's here? How are you seeing this other person that's here? How are you seeing this other person that's here? The Two of Cups. So you're either in a current partnership with this person, or you see this person, like you love this person, you care about this person. But this could just be a contract that you may share with this person. Are you seeing this person? The Ten of Wands. Oh, well, you feel like this person is a burden? There's this feeling of this relationship has become a burden. This relationship is not, I feel this energy of it not being the same. But for some reason, I also feel like either you haven't been in this for very long, or this is another cycle and you just haven't gotten very far. Why is the Two of Cups here? Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay. Well, I mean, you have a relationship here with someone that you feel like this person, again, I mean, I'm just going to repeat myself. I'm sorry, but it's like you don't see this person in the same way. You don't have a lot of confidence in this relationship. Why don't you see them in the same way? What is going on with that? The Lovers in reverse. I mean, just another clarifier. You have Sagittarius and Gemini energies here. You don't see like you and this person have the same thought process, same idea of things, same morals, same values. I mean, it's not telling me exactly why that is. Is there anything else you can tell me about that? Well, yeah, what's the Ten of Wands? Because that's why it's changed. What's the weight? The Four of Cups. This person, you may feel like they're just never happy or never satisfied, or it's always the same thing, or you don't get anywhere with this person. Could be like you feel like you're repeating something of your past with them. It's the Hermit in reverse. You may feel like this person overanalyzes or overthinks about past energies, and then so they can kind of stuck in that place, and they're have an inability to be able to move forward from something, or there could be something in particular this person just can't move on from. But I feel most of all, some of you, I think you're just bored with this. That sounds so bad. I don't mean it bad though. It's like, it's not that you're just bored with it. It's that you're bored with doing the same thing with this person over and over and over. You're tired of that. You don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to think about it. Have you ever like been with somebody so many cycles that you don't ever get anywhere? You feel like you always get stuck in the same loop. When you're starting to realize that it feels real deja vu with somebody, like I feel like I've been here before with this person. When you start to get irritated and you start to feel like, here we go again, or let's bring up the same shit over and over and over. Sorry about my language, but I mean, it does say talking shit here, so. It's like you keep repeating something over and over. You keep like going through the same argument. You never get anywhere, And when you get to that point where you realize that pattern, And you just don't even care anymore. It's the weight you've met the limit of it, and you just don't even care about it anymore. You've tried to get this person to understand or see something so many ways, so many times. They may have feel the same way about you, but it doesn't matter. The both of you are just not getting anywhere. And you're seeing that pattern, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I don't think you're happy with the situation, because I think you did see like some potential to this. But at this point, you're like, it's not even worth it, because you're just so unhappy with how things are. So you're trying to maybe figure out what to do about it, how you're going to approach this. I think you've kind of already made your decision, to be honest with you. But honestly, I feel like that there's a lot of, like, you do care about this person, right? So you're trying to do the right thing, like your card says. You're thinking about how to put that tower there. How do I get out of the situation, do the right thing by this person? You may be afraid of this person's reaction, or you just don't want to hurt them. Can you tell me more about that? Yeah, the Five of Swords. You don't want there to be a conflict. You're trying to avoid this kind of conflict that's here. Page of Wands in the reverse, because this person's going to want to understand. They're going to want to know. They're going to want to talk, go through all this. The Ten, of course, you want to give that to this person, something. But I feel like you're worried about this person's, they're showing up in your reading as like having an immature reaction, right? Which, come on, let's be honest, we all have immature reactions from time to time. It's very, very hard, and we do catch ourselves off guard sometimes, because life's always throwing new situations in our face. But it's hard to sit there and go, okay, I'm just going to handle this calmly. I'm just going to be like, I'm going to do it calm. But this person here, going into this, that this is not going to be someone that handles this situation or the information that you're tossing to them in a calm way. So you're prepared for this. You have the Ten of Swords in reverse. It's almost like I've been through this before. You have the Chariot in reverse. There's something to do with this person being dependent on you in some way, or almost like you feeling guilty, or walking away from this in some way. You're feeling guilty because this person is so codependent on you. For some of you, this may be a child too. May not, but it could be. Okay, so what is the Five of Swords? Yeah, the Nine of Swords. This is what you're worried about. The conflict, fighting, disagreement, the explosion of back and forth truce, This is what you're worried about. Nine of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so you have a Queen of Cups. Yep, there it is. And the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. See, the thing is you're trying to figure out, how do I represent myself in a loving, compassionate way and express that I do not see longevity here. I don't see this long term. I don't see this working out. I care about you. I have feelings for you. But in our situation, I do not see this lasting. I don't see the future of this. I don't see the investment paying off here for either of us. This is someone that's going to make you feel like you wasted their time. Ten of Cups. This is definitely someone that's going to not... You already know this. I feel like you already kind of know this. I don't feel like this person's reaction is going to be the best. This Judgment here with the King of Cups, this could also be someone that is blaming their emotions on other things. Like, I've been acting this way, I've been moody, I've been this, I've been that, I've been this, and I've been that because of X, Y, and Z. But the way I'm seeing it, that you see it, is that you have... This thing just keeps following me. That you have already experienced this with this person, or seen them experience it with others. Like, you've already identified with this person's behavior patterns and behavioral patterns and who they are and their character, and that's what you're understanding you do not align with, ultimately, right? So this person is looking at, okay, well, we still have love for each other, then it's still possible. And it's like, well, you can have all the love for somebody in the world, but if they're still acting a certain way, or they're solely relying on me for everything and anything, that's not going to be an equal, honest, good relationship, is it? So, you already know that this is kind of coming from this person. But again, I don't think any of y'all have made a final decision here. I just feel like in your heart, or what you have as far as an understanding goes right at this point, you kind of know what's going to happen if you continue to move forward, though, you know? Ultimately, you have free will. Always. It's a possible outcome here with this from this other person. The Six of Cups, Nostalgia, the High Priestess, Pisces, and the Three of Cups in reverse. So this person feels like, for some of you, this person may accuse you even too of having someone else, being with someone else. Their mind may go to that place where they feel like that you're not leaving them because of them. You're could be, potentially leaving them for someone else. So they could be representing this as maybe something that you've done in the past. Maybe you've done this before in the past, or with someone else, or something like that. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting off into this person's logic, which is very chaotic, for reasonings why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, because that Four of Pentacles is holding on to something of the past. Memories, nostalgia, not wanting to let go. So this person, ultimately, they just don't want to let go of you. The Seven of Cups being in reverse. That High Priestess, again, what I just said. This person feels like, even if they don't have any evidence, proof, idea of that at all or anything, they just feel like that there may be someone else, Yeah, Six of Swords that you're moving on to. I think you're going to end up having to separate yourself from this person. The Star in reverse. Yeah. Unfortunately, I really do. In order for you to heal from this situation, I feel like eventually you're going to have to end up separating yourself from this person. Which I feel like hurts, and it sucks. Because I do think that you care about what happens to this person. If you could say something to this person, I don't know why I want to do it like this, but if you could say something to this person, what would you say to them? Pile 2. If you could say something to this person, what would you say to them? Space. I need more time to think. Yep, I think that would be beneficial here too. What would you say to them? Pile 2, if you could say anything. Responsibilities. Yep. I have to take care of my financial and emotional needs. That's what I was talking about here with focusing on, regaining your focus. It's like this relationship somehow or another has thrown you off of your focus. What's important, what needs your time and attention. And escape. I left when things got hard. So to me, this is like you saying, I'm not escaping from this situation. I'm doing what I need to do for myself in order to heal from this. I have to heal from this because, everything in my life is starting to affect other areas in my life. I can't be just so absorbed into this relationship here with you and pleasing you or keeping you happy in this situation. I have other areas in my life that I need to focus on. And because this, relationship has gotten so dramatic or chaotic, it's taking up so much of my energy. So this could be what you could say to this person to kind of help ease the blow, I guess you could say. So what would this person say to you? What would this person say to you if they could say anything to you, pile 2? What person on your mind here? What would they say to you? Missed opportunity. I didn't act when I should have. So this person, like, maybe they regret not taking the opportunity or taking it for granted. A new chapter. I'm trying to move on. This is someone that would be saying, I'm trying to move on from this. Missed opportunity here with you. An ego. I let my pride get in the way of our connection. You also have time. I'm afraid it's too late to take action. This person, they almost kind of like want to give you the time and space that you need, but I think they're afraid of in that time period or in that space that you have that, you're never going to want to come back around to them, which I feel like is a possibility because I think that you could just be kind of putting space, hoping that this is something that may just kind of eventually drift away, because I really feel like you just don't want to hurt this person in general. I just feel like you don't want to be the bad person, but you also want to do what's best for yourself at the same time, and that's difficult. Okay, so let's see what advice we can get here. We'll get an affirmator card, and then I'll get some initials to close. What advice do you have here for pile 2? Open yourself up to love. It's safe for you to let your heart be seen. Don't be scared. So don't let this keep you from opening yourself up to other opportunities or love other places in your life, Sometimes we try and we fail, and that's okay. We're not aligned with that person. What other advice do you have? What other advice do you have? Actions speak louder than words. If you want to know how someone's feeling, watch what they're doing. So this is someone that may have had more than one opportunity here with you to kind of prove or show you something different who they are. And they failed, every time. And at some point you have to say, okay, I have to stop giving these opportunities and chances and saying, if your actions aren't speaking louder than your words, I can't just keep continuing to go off of what you tell me. That's not what is affecting me. It's your actions that are affecting me, or your lack of. All these came out at once. We have leap of faith. Only when you're willing to step out of your comfort zone will you reap great rewards. We have reconciliation. Someone from your past is or will be returning to your life. This could be someone else in your past. For some of you, this could be an acquaintance that you had at one point. It may not be somebody that you know deeply, but it could be. Could be an old friend, for all I know. Open yourself up to others. So open yourself up to love and others. When they say open yourself up to love, it doesn't always mean like open yourself up to a new relationship. I mean, that's up to you guys. This could just be open yourself up to new friends, reintroducing relationships into your life, spending more time with your family, with your kids, whatever the case. Wherever love's at in your life. Beware of codependency. I feel like that's what this was. I feel like that there was, maybe not initially, but I feel like a codependency developed pretty quickly between you and this other person. Addictive behaviors are affecting your romantic life. So it really did take its toll on this relationship. Okay, affirmator to leave y'all with. What do you have for pile 2? With thoughts. Do the right thing. What do you have? We have love. Love is a many splendid thing. That's what I was talking about. Today I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors. Like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent. Or the surge of congratulations I feel when I sink a 3-point trash basket shot on a first try. Or how about those chills I get when singing along to, name that song, you know the one. Yes, that's what I was already saying. Like, there's so many other areas in your life that things that you love to do. Love comes in many different forms, right? Okay, let's get some initials. Alright, we have got some charms here. We have work hard, dream big, be a nice human. You have the hashtag, so there's a lot under the surface. That doesn't mean you have to say everything. I don't know why that's what popped in my head after that, but I feel like one of y'all need to know, like, there may be a lot more to where this is coming from, a lot more under the surface, but that doesn't mean you have to say everything. And some of you, that means you don't have to continue to repeat yourself either. Okay. We have U, T, 2 V's. Oh, 1 V. I don't know. No, 2 V's. What the heck? B, another B. Q, E, Y, G, C, I, and J. Okay. Okay. Veggie, maybe somebody's a vegan. VEG's right there. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you right here. So thanks so much for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness. Of course, I hope this helps. Good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you chose the little tennis shoes here, okay, so this could just be a pair of blue tennis shoes for y'all. This is actually a charm for a baby boy, so that could be relevant as well. A child, a boy perhaps, or a child just in general. There could be something about expecting or a baby here. So that's there too, you know, for some of you. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side. This could also be like maybe you just decided to lace up your running shoes and take off, you know, who knows. So I haven't looked at this yet. Let's take a look and see what this is. So we're talking about your current situation and what you need to know about that situation, okay? All right, so let's see. Ooh, we have 29 imprisonment. So maybe the running thing, maybe the running thing actually went with this. I could interpretate this a million ways about what I just said with the tennis shoes, but I'm going to try to be gentle with my words. So 29, we're talking about perhaps some decisions and how else do I want to say this? I have to be really careful about how I talk about this. Sometimes there's things that keep us in a certain position, you know. For instance, responsibilities, okay, can keep us within a certain position. You know, we have certain responsibilities that we have to uphold, or hence, you know, perhaps maybe a child. But this can also be like, you know, you see the little rat here or mouse, and they always remind me of gossip or a tattletale, you know. And, you know, he's behind bars here. So it's almost like not being able to do anything about what someone says, or not being able to do anything about your circumstance. Like you can't control what you're hearing or what someone else is saying. Could be something that's here. But most importantly, I feel like with this imprisonment is like not being able to do maybe what you want, or not being able to move in the direction that you're wanting to move into, okay? Or it could simply be that you feel like you have certain responsibilities that you have to uphold in some sort of way. Okay, well, we'll see how this all goes together. We're going to start with some oracles. And for y'all, I'm going to start with what's the T. I think I'll also get some of the Revealing the Truth oracles as well before we get into the tarot. Which I did not grab. I actually accidentally put the tarot up. Did I do it? Did I put it up? I have to, sorry guys, hold on just 1 second. It's not prepared. Where, oh there it is. Okay. I did have it out and I put it up. I had to clear my desk. I can't get it too cluttered. It doesn't work for me. My mind doesn't work the same if my desk is cluttered. That might have something to do with y'all, with this, as far as your situation goes. Like, you may be mentally, I just heard mental Olympics in my head about something, and it's preventing you or keeping you from being focused. Okay. see what this is. What's the situation here for pile 3? What's the situation here for pile 3? Okay. We have bad karma. That's been coming out a lot. Moving on. So there's that moving energy, right? What's the situation here for pile 3? Rejected. What's the situation here for pile 3? And groupie. This feels like you have somebody that's like hating on you, you know? Same shit, different day. Pardon my language, but that's what the card says. Okay, so let's get some revealing the truth. I'm going to get a few of these to see what the underlying energy is here. What is, as far as what you need to know. Okay, so bad karma. With moving on, it says thank you next. You have rejected here and groupie. There's something to do with what other people are saying or what someone else said or something about maybe others saying something that is causing you to be rejected by someone else, or you just feel rejected in the situation. There is definitely something to do with like gossip or outside influence here in some sort of way. Because this could be someone around you. This may not be your energy. I'm just reading the story, okay? So bad karma with groupie to me kind of are, you know, go together here with moving on and rejected. Obviously this feels like, you know, an energy of no thank you next and moving on. You could be rejecting something here. Or someone could be rejecting you. But it's like there's this outside influence that's taken place here with this. And like this negativity. So, you know, like when someone talks about you in a negative way, or a group of people talk about you in a negative way, sometimes that can influence you getting the opportunity, you know. So this kind of feels that way. Or this could be you, you know. But considering the fact that we have imprisonment here in these running shoes, I feel like this has to do with you feeling like you're stuck or feeling trapped. What is the underlying energy here? It's like being rejected from a group, right? Ooh, snake, lie, poison. Fertility is there, so that here. Firm, wide awake. Oh, that song, Wide Awake, just started playing in my head. I think that's a Katy Perry song, right? Clean, indecisive. Firm, clean, indecisive. So there's something to do with being rejected here. This could be you that rejected someone else. Being very firm, or someone's being very firm here when it comes to their boundaries. There's some kind of bad karma that's occurred due to a lie. Some sort of toxicity. I don't know why I couldn't say that, but I kept trying to say tech. So maybe there's something to do with something technical. Maybe there's something to do with technology here in some kind of way that could be part of this lie. That's not going to be everybody's message, but now that song keeps playing. Look at the bottom of the deck. Rose shoes are for running away, so I was right about that. Get away, keep away, and give up. You know, this could be part of it, walking away, giving up on something here. Same shit, different day. Forcer. Forces things on you, forces their way in, uses force to get what they want. You may feel like somebody couldn't get what they wanted, or weren't getting what they wanted. I gotta get the tarot. Okay. I just feel like I can channel better when I have a tarot deck in my hand. Okay, guys, sorry, quick pause. So we're gonna use the Wizard Tarot. Okay, so let me go back through this real time. Let me go back through this real quick. Okay, so I feel like there's some kind of negativity around this. There's a reason for things happening the way that they are. It, I think, has something to do with this groupie and this lie, or this deception that's here. Somebody is trying to stay firm in their boundaries here. They're trying to, this wide awake energy, So that Katy Perry song, Wide Awake, could be important here. The lyrics of that, because it's relevant. I feel this is kind of the same kind of energy, but there's also this clean energy here, though. So it's like someone, cutting ties, like a clean slate, or being decisive about something, or someone being firm, or this wake-up call, that's here. Something like this, okay. So because of this negativity, you have this nope, thank you, next, and rejection that takes place here. And then you have this groupie energy that's around this. So let's see, because I feel some sort of lie or deception. Because remember, the overall bottom of the deck is same shit, different day, and run away, get away, keep away, give up. So your situation, you may be in this place too, to where you're trying to make that decision. Get away, keep away, or give up. Okay, feeling imprisoned here. Same shit, different day. So either you're repeating the same cycle as you have before, or you feel like this always happens. It's this feeling of, I don't know, for some of you, this bad karma, you may just feel like you have bad luck, but honestly, I feel like karma's on the table, so this is some kind of karma that's here. I don't know whose energy I'm reading. Okay, so this could be somebody that you're dealing with. Reverse the roles as need be. Where is bad karma here? What is this bad karma? The Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Moving on. The Four of Wands. Rejected. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. This is like being rejected because you're not able, or you don't. Rejecting something you feel like you don't deserve. Why is the groupie here? The Star in reverse. Why is Snake here? The Seven of Cups in the reverse. Someone wasn't honest here about their options or choices, or making a choice about something. There's some kind of illusion or false reality that's like with the Seven of Cups, but considering this is Snake, this lie energy, it's like somebody chose wrong, or they lied about the choices that they made. Why is, okay. Firm is the Emperor. So yeah, that's firm. Look, they both have this, what would you call that? Wand? What else would you call that? I gotta be careful here. Anyway, staff, I guess. So you have this feeling here of someone that's trying to be firm on their beliefs of what they've decided here. You have Aries energy down here. Why is that Five of Pentacles there in reverse? Ooh, Ten of Swords. So this can be moving on. That's moving on here. The Four of Wands is a reunion, or coming together, or solid, having peace, making peace with something. Thank you, next. There may be some kind of, this may have not happened yet for some of you. This may be a fear of rejection. Because the Ten of Swords, that Five of Pentacles is getting to a better place, getting to a calmer place when it comes to this bad karma. And the Four of Wands is making peace with that Knight of Swords in reverse. Thank you, next. So the Knight of Swords in reverse could be part of the lie or the negativity. It's like actions or words or something that's being said out of spite, or something that's being done that shouldn't have. There's actions here that were played out. It could have been a reaction to something, but with that thank you, next, and that Four of Wands, it's like making peace with something here. Could be running away, making peace with the fact that someone ran away and moved on to something else. Thank you, next. Why is the Nine of Pentacles here in reverse? This could be what somebody's afraid of too, though. Yeah. The Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, two Knights in the reverse. Rejection. Okay, there's two storylines I'm getting here. Either this hasn't happened yet, and this is the situation, and you may be wondering about this. whether or not you would be rejected here in a situation, or this already has happened and you're wondering or you're seeing someone kind of move on. To me, the Knight of Pentacles with that Nine of Pentacles in reverse is like not having what you need or not having what it takes. And this is why this rejection is here. Star in reverse. The Six of Swords in reverse. So all hope in being able to go back to a situation is like there's a lost feeling of hope around this. Not being able to fix something, not being able to straighten something out. And groupie is here. So I feel like this is affecting a group or affecting others. This has a feeling of being booted out in some kind of way, or booting someone out. Seven of Cups in the reverse. Page of Wands in the reverse. I don't like that. What is that? Page of Wands in the reverse. Page of Swords. This can be like somebody lying about their interest. Someone not being honest about something they said or a decision that they were making. This is like when someone doesn't think through something clearly. It's kind of like their curiosity gets the better of them. So there may have been some kind of communication going on, and this was part of a lie. It's like something that's hard to see past, you know? Why is that? This can also look like a message, though, for you. Some of you, this hasn't happened yet. And there is this, like, curiosity around if you can get out of something. Like, can I get them to see things clearly, right? The Seven of Cups, like I said, it can be emotional confusion, so you don't know what to choose. And I feel like that's the scenario that's here. And it could be around because of this deception here. But there's this curiosity around this too, perhaps about what someone believes, or if someone can I am feeling a little bit of underlying a manipulative kind of energy there, so it kind of feels like somebody trying to get out of something, and it may have to do with communication. It's like someone asking you questions and you answer those questions, but you leave out a significant part of it. And then when you say, well, you didn't tell me this, they say, well, you didn't ask. And it's like, that's not that doesn't even, it's not the point, right? It's the point. Is asking a question in a particular type of way, and that's what you answer. It's to tell you what you don't know or the truth, right? Why is the Emperor here? So this firm energy is someone, could be someone becoming clean. The Three of Pentacles is here. This is somebody like basically feels like they're standing firm on their boundaries, or firm on like trying to perhaps maybe do the right thing, trying to work something out, trying to be committed, or standing firm on the commitment that they made to themselves, because the Emperor here is Aries energy. It's about being focused on yourself. So this feels like somebody that's trying to make a decision for themselves and stick to that decision. Or this could be something that you're afraid of. You know, it depends on what side of the fence you are here. I feel like I'm reading two energies. And I hate it when that happens. It gets confusing. Because I can see both sides to a story. So it gets confusing what energy I'm sitting in, especially when you're trying to like argue your point or perspective, right? I'm trying to be the viewer and not the energy itself. And it's difficult. Why is especially right now, we're so, the veil's so thin right now around Halloween time. So, it's crazy about that. Is, lately it's been so bizarre, but every now and then, one of my synchronicities is hearing something and seeing it at the same time. Like, let's just say I was listening to something and they said the word, chakra. And as they're saying chakra, I'm looking at the word chakra at the same time. Or numbers like that, or something like that. It's just crazy. Anyways, it just lines up. Like, I was last night reading a book. Yes, I was reading a book and I had my TV going at the same time. But it was on, like, just background noise, really, right? And I was reading, and as I'm reading, they say the word, and it's like a very unusual word. It's like waterfall or something like that. And I was like, that's just weird, and that's been happening a lot. So that the energy's thin. There could be something here to do about feeling like you're on the fence or being like you're on a tightrope here in some kind of way, especially emotionally. The way you're connecting with this. Tell me about that Five of Pentacles. What do they need to know about this with that Ten of Swords? So there's an ending here, okay? And this feels like somebody that has to end something in order to balance out their own energy. Because the Five of Pentacles is in reverse. It's like getting past or getting over some kind of brutal ending. Some kind of something that happened here. So either somebody's trying to balance the scales out and move on or move past a brutal ending. Get out of the cold here perhaps when it comes to this negative karma. They're trying to get themselves out of what they've created. That's what this feels like. Somebody trying to get themselves out of what they created. And there's somebody here that's trying to also get themselves out of this, painful ending or whatever here so that they can balance themselves out internally. So, why is the Four of Wands with the Knight of Swords? What you need to know about that is that the Six of Pentacles is upright because there's two sides that need to be balanced out, or there's two people that need this, need this equal give and take that's here. Some of you, this looks like therapy too, just have to say that. Okay, anyway, Four of Wands, the Knight of Swords in reverse, the Five of Cups in the reverse. Again, this is a card of moving on, moving on, moving on. Making peace with something and moving on. So there's somebody here that wants to just kind of make peace with something and move on. And for some of you, this has to do with wanting to do this for themselves. So, Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. This feels like an energy of someone saying, I want to just move on from this together. And then someone saying, I want to move on from this and just move on from it. I need to detach, in order to move on. So there's two different visions that are here. Okay, so why is that Knight of Pentacles in the reverse? Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, the Ace of Swords in the reverse. So there's some sort of dishonesty. It's like either you're not seeing things, but you don't see things clearly, But then someone else is like, well, there's the dishonesty that's here. The Ace of Swords in reverse is, not being truthful about something. That Nine of Pentacles and that Nine of Pentacles, both being in reverse, is like rejecting something because you don't feel safe or you don't feel comfortable because of someone not moving forward with something, someone not staying devoted or committed to something, someone not seeing something through in some kind of way. This is a dishonesty or either some kind of dishonesty that was here that created that feeling of rejection, you know, because of that, or there's a misunderstanding around this, and I think that's argumentative, you know, with that argumentative. Okay, so let's, well, what is the Six of Swords in reverse? It's the Three of Swords. This is like a painful, like this is the Three of Swords with groupie can be like a third party energy. So I have to point that out. Some kind of outside influence that has caused this inability to heal or inability to have that desire anymore. It's like, I don't desire this anymore because, well, the Three Swords are in my heart. And we can't fix this, or I don't want to fix this because I don't want those three swords in my heart again. You know, or it's just kind of like, and with groupie here especially, there's definitely been some outside interference or influence within this. And this could even be that. It could be, you know, I don't want to hurt X, Y, and Z because you've lost all hope in the situation. I don't know. That feels like somebody that's pressuring someone else. You know what that feels like? It feels like when you're with somebody, it's so hard. Not only when you know what you need to do to separate yourself from somebody, like you know you need to do that for yourself in order to get balance. But it's hard whenever that person tells you things like, well, you know, we can't separate. We can't. What about all of our friends? What about, you know, maybe that's something that's here too. You have to be around each other still, you know. Like you were gonna have to be around each other. You know, it's that kind of a feeling that's there, and it's argumentative, right? Because there's the Three Swords here. So it feels pressure. It feels like a pressure that someone's putting. An intentional kind of pressure, right? When there's, hold on, Temperance in reverse. There's someone that is looking at that in a way of it causing an imbalance, right? It makes them frustrated and almost angry or upset around feeling the weight or the pressure of that in some way. Sagittarius energies there. There's definitely some anger around whatever this Three of Swords is. That is for sure. Tell me about the Emperor and the Three of Pentacles with that firm energy. A Six of Wands in reverse. Yeah, there's somebody here that's just recognizing the fact that they need to stand firm in their decision and their commitment to themselves. Knowing that something just won't be successful or will work out. Yeah, Two Pentacles in reverse. This is like not having a choice. And this is this imprisonment energy that's here. This is a situation where someone's making a choice and the other person has to just go along with it. They don't have a choice, you know. If someone's deciding to reject someone and cut someone out, then there's only so much the other person can really do, right? But there's this back and forth battle with that. And then someone that's kind of ultimately deciding to stand strong and firm in their decision. And this is a repetitive thing, right? So with this Forcer being here now with reflection, there's someone here that I feel like is trying to kind of influence or force you in a way of repeating another cycle perhaps, and you're trying to stand firm on your boundaries. There may be some kind of message that's around this, or uninvited guest here. See, that talent is actually like, looks like a snake to me. So this is somebody that is coming, like trying to talk you into possibly repeating a cycle or talk you into something. And for some of you, this is you being in this strong energy and needing to stand firm in your boundaries. For others of you, this is you being in a place where you feel stuck and trapped, and you feel like this negative energy. You're wanting to come out of this, and you're wanting to kind of influence the other person. Let's see in that scenario what this is. This Temperance in reverse then. Yeah, the Moon in reverse. There's still yet to be revealed, you feel like. The other person here, if this is you, there's a feeling of still feeling like there's emotions that need to be revealed. Like you don't understand the emotions, or you don't understand the full situation. There's even anger or frustration around this. Because the Temperance is the imbalance. And then you have that Moon, which is representing reasons that you feel a certain way. And in reverse, it's like showing all those reasons. You know, everything being revealed of what you can be afraid of and what you can't. So that could be part of this, you know. What was the lie exactly? Can you give me any insight on that? The Two of Cups in reverse. There's disloyalty here. May have caused a breakup or separation. Breaking of a contract, if this has to do with work or something like that, right? Okay. So what's going to happen here? Well, I mean, this is what's happening for some of you. This already happened. What's going to be happening here, though, for the majority moving forward? The Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. The Sun in reverse. And the Hierophant. So there's a lesson that's playing out in this. It has to do with the Hierophant. The Hierophant's here to teach the lesson. Actually, or physically on this card, that's what he's doing, but that's what the Hierophant does. Taurus and Leo's here too. There's been, this is a long term situation, I feel like, with that Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, or there was potential for that. Ten of Pentacles in reverse is having no firm ground here. So as far as what's going to happen moving forward, now you have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. There's this kind of scattered energy that's going to take place because there's no firm foundation that's here, or something was physically like taken away. Like this could be somebody separated from family, or separated from their home, or separated from kind of foundations, and being like scattered around this. Like it, you know, it takes time for the dust to settle. That's what this feels like. It feels like the dust is all still in the air. And then the Eight of Swords in the reverse. It's disappointing. There's this disappointment that's here on the table. But there's also this feeling of relief in a way, because it's kind of like, well, I did everything I could do, or I did what I felt like I needed to do, or, you know, it's like this feeling of, I guess maybe trying, or something like that, you know, like you feel like there's just a feeling of resolution in some way here, in a disappointing way, unfortunately, but it's just like, because it's not where you initially wanted to be, right? It's not the way you wanted things to be. But there's a big lesson in this too, with that Hierophant being there. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles. It has to do with opportunities. You, them, the whole situation. It has to do with equal opportunity, or opportunities, and what to do with the opportunities here when you get them. This could be how you handle something. So this is a seed, you know, the pentacle being a seed from spirit offering you something solid, a solid commitment, relationship, partnership, contract, and see how you follow through with that. And somebody dropped the ball here. This is a lesson around that seed and how to nurture, take care of, and, you know, help that seed to grow. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. This is how you, this feels like showing someone how to treat the other person, or how you treat someone. You know, showing someone how to treat someone, really. I mean, that's what it looks like. The Queen of Pentacles is someone, she has a lot of dignity, a lot of respect. She's very loyal and committed. She expects that from others, or she won't give. And there's this lesson around this. This could be with you within yourself, or someone else that's learning this lesson. Or I feel like, to be honest with you, this is a big lesson for everybody in the situation, just in different ways. Somebody's learning about how to protect their own energy or stand up for themselves, and reject what doesn't serve them or isn't what they need, you know. And then there's someone here that's learning about how to nurture something that can give back to you in a way. It's like a seed. If you nurture it and you let it grow, it can grow into your fruit, you know. And then you have that to have that stability from that. You have that, it's a long-term stability. It's something that's solid that can give back to you, you know, throughout whenever you need it, you know, or however long. But if you don't nurture it, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna work out. You won't be able to have the same amount of abundance, you know. There's a lesson behind that. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. Ten of Wands, yeah. That Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is still holding on, it's like still carrying a burden from this. Like having, because there's longevity here, I feel, but the Hermit in reverse is like, yeah, you carry the weight of this on your back, but there isn't any more introspection that you need to do with this. It's like, this is like come to a conclusion, and that with the conclusion, yeah, you have that weight that you carry from this experience on your back and the lesson that you learned. That doesn't mean that you need to do any more introspection about it. You've basically figured out and learned what you could from the experience. Now you just have to move that on into, you know, forward. And if you approach the situation again in the future, it will be different, you know, whether it's with this person, someone else, or whoever. That lesson will be implemented then, hopefully. But till then, there is this like a feeling of weight that you're carrying around, you know, from this, because there's longevity here. It's either a lot of energy, time, effort, long time that you were in this or tried, you know, that's here. So yeah, that takes some time. We're gonna get an affirmator. I'm also gonna get what? Let's get some of these. Okay. These are the Divine Goddess Oracle deck. Can I have some advice about this? Can I have some advice about this? Release. Release grudges, wounds, and pent-up feelings through healthy activity. See, that's the thing here in this. I feel like this situation, what it does do, and this is what I was trying to explain here with the Sun in reverse and the Eight of Swords, it releases a grudge or weight or burden that's here. But it doesn't release the whole, how things are altogether. That's why the Ten of Wands is still part of this. But he's wise, you know. He's a wise wizard, and he's earned every bit of that, what's on his crown there. And that's hard. It's hard work. It's hard to get to this point. It's hard to have a certain understanding about a situation and it being difficult, but knowing like the lesson that you learned in that. You know, it's a part to carry it. But this is about carrying that, but releasing grudges, releasing the whatever the pent up emotions are here. You know, that's what this is meant for. If that makes sense. Deception. False illusions. Seven of Cups in their reverse. Scarcity mentality and falling into bad habits. So there is this idea here that I didn't mention where someone may influence the other person into believing something that's not true. Like there's this feeling of someone that may have a some sort of outdated tactic, let's say that. I don't know why that's the way I'm saying it, but some sort of outdated kind of tactic or way of doing things that keeps the other person maybe in their head somewhat, and why that is, I don't know. There's an immaturity to that with that Page of Wands in the reverse. So it's like trying to make someone jealous. That's what it feels like. That's kind of what it's like. So they can get that emotional reaction from them. It keeps them safe in that dynamic. It's a wound. It's an outdated way of thinking, but it's attached to something of whatever they were made to believe as far as manipulating others. And, you know, it's because someone has a hard time being able to emotionally understand if someone is being honest or not, or feeling safe in a dynamics. And so instead of stirring up the dust and coming out right and saying things, they do certain things to see what kind of reaction they can get out of that person. If they react in this way, that means they're jealous. That means they care, right? So there's just an immature way of doing something that I feel like someone else that's caused some issues here, where someone else doesn't want to go down that road, doesn't want to be attached to that in some way. For something else here, I did not just mention until just now I thought of it. There could be some kind of information or truth or message from someone younger or a child where it causes some kind of curiosity and thinking about someone lying about something or not. Anyway, tell me more about this. Releasing the deception. Spread your wings. Yeah, see, with this comes this ability to be able to move on, to move forward, you know, and leap of faith. Taking a risk, stepping into the beauty of the unknown. There you go. So releasing what this is, what you need to know is this is about releasing grudges, wounds, pent-up feelings around this deception, and being able to learn and grow from this so that you can have more opportunities in the future. Or it's just simply stepping into being firm with your boundaries or your understanding of things or what you want for yourself and move forward, you know. Yeah, look, the bottom of the deck says resolving issues. Solving inner conflict with others, healing past the trauma. So something does get resolved here in some kind of way. There's some sort of resolution, but I just don't feel like everybody's like it just doesn't work out in the way that you would have originally wanted for things to work out, right? There's still this sadness or disappointment that's here, but you do get out of your head about it. You do resolve the issue anyways, and you do learn significant lesson in this. I mean, this is a lesson that will help you forever. Okay. Friendliness. So you may still be friendly with this person. For some of you, Some of you know. But some of you, yeah, you may still be friendly here with this person, or you just kind of end in a better way or something like that. We have friendliness. Whenever I smile, I make someone's day better. What a cool way to buy happiness for free. Today, I will remember that an awesome power I hold and I'll take joy in improving lives simply by giving away grins like crazy. In a pinch, money will work also. So one of the things came to mind when I was reading that. I was thinking about like having respect for someone. And you know, it's funny because it's crazy what a lie can do. You know, a lie is like poison that just spreads into a relationship. It's crazy what that can do. And it's funny too to me because, at least in my experience, what the other person wants from that experience is the truth. Why? Because they deserve it. They feel they deserve. Everybody does, but it's being respectful to the other person by giving them, you know, the God's honest truth about a situation. It's being respected in that way. And some people will just be buried in the grave without telling the truth to someone else. And it's a hard thing to do sometimes. You know, when you have done something to someone, especially that you love and care about, that is, you know, is not right. You know it's not good. It's not right. You feel so shameful for that. It's really hard to be able to honestly look at someone else and give them that information of that truth. But it's also one of the most loving things that you can do for somebody. And it's rare, you know. Unfortunately, it is. And it's very hard. But it does create a particular type of understanding between you and someone else where you can at least kind of work your way towards releasing it, you know. Okay, and I know that's not going to be like a favorable advice that's in that, but it's just through my life experience. I can tell you that. I've been on one situation and the other, and of course it's always better to resolve if you can, right? Okay. We have Winnie the Pooh. This could be important. But Winnie the Pooh, look how innocent he looks with his hands behind his back. It reminds me of my child. When he comes to me with his hands behind his back, I know that something is wrong. Or he comes to me like, Mom, if I told you that I did this, would you be mad about that? I'm like, So there's this like, you know, someone coming to you in this way perhaps, or this innocent kind of energy here, or this knowing what someone is up against, you know, that's here, if that makes sense. Okay, we have W or M. Actually, we have both. We have a L, a U, Q, R, X, S, E, M, S, A, G, and U. G, U. Guess is here. Like, guess who it is? Okay. Alright, I'm going to leave you right here. So, thank you so much for being here, guys. I hope this helps. Good luck with this, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 4. So, if you chose the pair of scissors, this will be your reading. So, we're talking about what is your situation, what you need to know about your situation. So with the pair of scissors, y'all know what I'm going to say. Obviously, I'm going to say, you know, cutting the cord here perhaps with someone, or cutting something out, cutting something off. So let's take a look and see what your card is, because I haven't looked at it yet either. So here we go. Family room, number 21. Okay, so this always, it's like a conversation, right, with family room. 21 is the world in tarot, so there's definitely this ending, right, cutting something off. Family room, so this can be like a gathering, a mutual conversation. This could be like a family coming together and having a conversation about perhaps cutting something out. This could be bad habits. This could be needing to have a conversation with someone about cutting certain things out of their life that are causing, a negative influence in some way. But this world can also represent travel, moving. So this could be a conversation around this, needing to have this conversation around moving or around traveling or something like that. Having to cut something out or cut the idea of something out. Okay, so put that over here. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get the tarot. I am going to start with the, nope, I am not going to start with the what's the tea. I am going to start with the Love Oracles. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. What is the situation here for pile? Look, family again. So family is important. Friends is here too. Cutting out friends because of family. Choosing, balancing, prioritizing. Y'all could be dealing with the child. This is like, having to tell your child, especially when they're a teenager, when their friends become like their everyday, obsession. Every day they're together, but you also have to make sure that they make time for family, because that's very important. That's your foundation and your stability, and family is always going to be there no matter what. So family is so important, but it is also important to have a social life too. And there's a fine, balance that has to go into that. And some of you, this could be adults, like maybe this has to do with your friends or coworkers or people that you're around, and maybe your family's like missing you, or it could be the other way around. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to cut certain things out so that you can spend more time where you want or where you should. For some of you, there may be somebody that's here that your family, spouse, something like that, or you particularly doesn't like around the other person. This could be somebody that they are involved with at some point, or I don't know, there's something in particular you may not like around this, about this person that your spouse is friends with, or something like that's there. Okay, let's see. What's the current situation here for call 4? Storm warning. Okay. Quick story. So I'm going to use the Spellcaster Tarot, right? Now, I wasn't going to use this deck. I was going to use a different deck, and I went to my cabinet because I couldn't remember the name of that deck. Still can't, by the way. And I went to look at the box to double check, and this Spellcaster's Tarot was there. And I was like, I want to use that one. I don't know why, but I want to use it. As soon as I picked it up and I went to lay it on my desk, and I left it like this so y'all could see this, the first card that I saw was the Tower, and I was like, oh, okay. That needs to be used then. And then now here you have Storm Warning, which is also like the Tower card. And now all I hear is Miley Cyrus with Wrecking Ball. It says upheaval, obstacle, wrecking ball, and drama. This is something that you're prepared for, though, because you have your rain gear on. But then again, why the heck are you running into the water if you're trying to not get wet? That makes no sense. Look at them. They're both on the beach and have their back turned. It's almost like one of you's trying to ignore something and the other one's not having it. Okay, so spiritual awakening, enlightenment, epiphany, life lessons, and rebirth. So you're trying to get somebody's attention about something. Intuition. Yeah, there's this feeling here of trying to get someone's attention here about someone. You're trying to get someone to see something. like wake someone up. You have this gut feeling, you have this intuition about the situation where it's going to lead. You know, it's like, hey, you got to stay away from them. I'm telling you, they're bad news. It's something like this is here, trying to tell somebody this. Or, you know, I always see the family room as having like a coming to Jesus talk. You know, like my uncle, very quiet man, hardly ever says anything. You know, when he does pull you aside, you're fixing to have a coming to Jesus talk with him, or something to that nature. It's going to come out of his mouth, and probably you'll end up in tears. Happy tears, maybe. Sad tears, you never know. But there's some kind of this like talk, you know, around someone feeling a certain way, unfinished. This with mask here too. This may be something that's already been brought up before, but you didn't really settle it. You didn't really get anywhere when you talked about it. Definitely with this mask energy heal. This mask energy here. Good Lord. Reconciliation's under that in reverse, though. So this feels like a disagreement of some sort that never got resolved, and like you both kind of been wearing a mask. Or this could be a situation with a friend, or this feels like somebody like you're with, or somebody you're dating. Like this feels like maybe you may still be together, maybe not for some of you, but and we'll see what the underlining energies are here. Look for. Yeah, I was just thinking that with this intuition here. There's something here that's been seen, heard, something. Somebody's doing some research here because they have this gut feeling. And somebody else, I feel like, is just trying to ignore it or disguising it or not wanting to look at it. Yeah, pollution. How something is toxic. Infection, parasite, and poison. This is like somebody saying, hey, like this is going to not be good. You need to cut this out. This can also be like someone, like I said before, where you're realizing or you're seeing that something is not good, or won't go in the right direction or something like that, or someone else is, and they're saying, hey, we need to still talk about this. We have not resolved this issue, and it's just going to keep festering, you know, until we get it figured out. Honor is at the bottom. So this could have to do around work for some of you, but this is like she's in the storm here, you know. There's this this just feels like you're trying to wake somebody up to something. This is like this feels like to me energetically, this feels kind of like a situation that I had with my son, where he started, like, he's hanging out with somebody, and I'm like, just keep in mind, you know, you have to be like really gentle with how you, graceful, you know, with how you kind of present it to him, because you don't want him to, he's 17. So I don't want him to think that I'm like judging anyone on a situation or anything like that. But I always tell him, like, when whoever you're hanging out with, wherever you're around, and your friends, even if you know those particular people aren't necessarily doing the right things or the best things, or finding themselves in trouble a lot, then you have to discern when it's okay to be around those people and when it's probably not. If you can't, you probably shouldn't be around them altogether. So you have to have a lot of willpower and courage to be able to walk away when you need to walk away, And do you want to put yourself in that position? You know, you have to make that choice. It's hard because I do feel like that they can also learn a lot of lessons through their peers as well. But this situation feels similar energetically to that. So it's like trying to get someone to wake up and see how something is not good for them. And you have this like sixth sense here about the situation, and you're trying to express it, but the other person just they're not listening. And you're trying to do your best to kind of honor their decision, but you feel like they just can't see the situation clearly or see it for what it is. It's almost like you're trying to get somebody else to kind of look at it differently and investigate it, you know? You know, I feel like what's hard for me in some relationships in my life is that I swear to y'all, I can see things going bad before they go bad. You have an Ace of Swords in the reverse with a King of Pentacles in reverse. Again, this feels like that same kind of energy. Not being able to see clearly that something is not good for you. This could even be like someone's just their belief system, you know? Like, you can't see how that's not good for you. Can't see what you're doing is wrong. There it is again, the Tower with the Ace of Swords. Like the truth, somebody's trying to get the other person to wake up to this. The underlying energy here is feeling like someone's not looking at something in the right way as it being toxic. This could have to do with the relationship, you know, or something within a relationship causing damage. But it's hard for me in relationship. I feel like I can always see like something going, like the energy shift. I can always tell, you know, when the energy shifts, and my mood changes according to the energy shift, and that's hard for me to be able to navigate. But I always kind of see something and needing to be cut out before the other person does. And it's so hard to convince the other person that like this is going to be this. And I've had so many relationships where the other person's like, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. You're just worrying. You're just worrying. You're just a worrier. It'll be fine. It's okay. It's just this. It's just that. And I'm like, I'm not worrying. I can tell like it's not good. It's going to, that's why I always say like, I told you this is going to happen. Nobody ever listens to me. That's okay. I'm not always right either, so. Why is storm warning here? Sometimes you have to learn for yourself. That's the honor comes in. So you have the Hermit here in reverse, Virgo energy, with storm warning. Not being able to see something, you know. Spiritual awakening. You have Judgment in reverse. Yeah, there's someone here that doesn't even want to look at something. Doesn't want to look at it. Doesn't want to face it. Like not wanting to face it. Not wanting to face the reality of something. This could even be like, hey, you know, you're going out and drinking too much. You know, you're spending too much money. You need to come back home and settle down so we can pay our bills, you know, or whatever. And the other person's like, man, I don't really want to look at that right now. You know, I'm having fun. Well, I mean, most people don't. I mean, we have everybody's got responsibilities, you know. Can't just ruin our lives for a good time. You have Scorpio energy there with Judgment. Why is intuition here? Death in reverse. My gosh, more Scorpio energy. Yeah, death in reverse is repeating a cycle. So it's like listening to your intuition here and not wanting someone to repeat a cycle like you should, but you feel like they're going to. They're going to do it again. They're going to repeat the same cycle, you know. Unfinished business here. Queen of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, this is still being upset. Again, it's funny because the Queen of Wands, she doesn't get enough credit for being the, being so intuitive and it's kind of what I just got done talking about, right? She also picks up on energies, right? And there's this frustration around this unfinished business. Like, for some of you, this could even be like a pattern that someone can see you fixing to repeat with someone else, or someone doing something else the same to the other person, or something like this is here. Back and forth baggage patterns. Like, you're fixing to repeat the same. We're fixing to go down the same path, down the same pattern here. Look for the moon. With look for. You got some Sagittarius out here now for me with the Queen of Wands in the reverse, and then Pisces and Cancer here too with the moon. So with the moon and look for is basically the illusions of things. So if someone's saying, that's not, someone feels like the other person's kind of like in la la land or in some kind of illusion of, and the other person's like, look closer, look at it closer. If you get up to those shadows, you'll see that they aren't, scary. Or if you get close up to those shadows, you'll see what's real and what's not real. What is the pollution here? The Knight of Swords. This is someone wanting the other person to take action or do something, because it's creating this pollution. It's creating this infection. Why is the Hermit here in reverse for what you need to know? Yeah, the Ten of Cups is family. So this could most certainly be a situation where family is involved here. More importantly, it's about this temporary fulfillment for me. And I know I don't always see the Ten of Cups like that, but the Ten of Cups is, yeah. The Ten of Cups is like that blissful, happily ever after, feeling really great and grand and good, and it feels good in the moment, but we all know that those don't last forever, right? With that Hermit in reverse, it seems very surface level, like someone's not looking at it deeper, because it's like, it's a temporary fantasy or a temporary illusion. And if you look at it deeper, you'll realize that it's actually creating not so great. It's like, the wound on the outside looks like it's healing and it's doing good, but underneath there's a deeper issue that's just kind of festering, right? Why is the Judgment here in reverse? So this to me is the family room here with the storm warning. Someone having that conversation or creating a conversation or an upheaval around, messing up or creating an obstacle here around the family or happiness. It's like disrupting someone else's happiness by creating this upheaval that needs to be had, or it's like this is going to lead to a disaster, Judgment in reverse. Spiritual awakening. Seven of Swords. So again, this is someone saying, there is deception here. You cannot trust the situation. You're not judging the situation correctly. You need to wake up to this. Why is the intuition here? The Eight of Swords. You are in your head about this. You're going to repeat another cycle. I see this happening here. You are just in your head about it, and tell me about the Queen of Wands in the reverse. A Two of Swords in the reverse. That can be when someone's blocking someone out. But this can also represent, like, we're not making a decision right now, but we need to soon. With that Two of Swords being in reverse. I feel like this is somebody basically putting their foot down here in a way, but saying, I'm not going to allow this to move forward. This needs to be figured out. This needs to be worked out before we can move forward. You need to cut this out before we can move forward. Wise look for in Moon here. The Chariot. This can be some inner work that needs to be done here. Like, you need to figure out why you feel like this is okay. Or you need to figure out this pattern that you keep repeating. Like, this seems like something where someone needs to really take a good look at their self and their shadow side to themselves and get that under control. Like, there's something here you're needing to look at. You needed to investigate. You need to get this under control here. There's things that you're not seeing about the situation or not seeing about yourself. Why are you wanting to put yourself in this position? Why do you keep repeating the same cycle? Please take a deeper look at this, because if you don't, I feel like it's going to end up creating this poison. This infection is going to just fester, and it's going to create this tower, this disaster. Or this can be like somebody saying, if you can't fix the situation, then I have to get away from it, you know? The Eight of Wands in the reverse. This could even be like, it doesn't have to be something bad that someone's doing. It could, or a situation they're in. It could be just someone not making a decision. You know, with you not making a decision, like, we need to talk about this. This isn't over. With you not making a decision around this, not wanting to make a judgment call here, trying to be strategic in this, we're just going to keep repeating the same cycle, and we're never going to get anywhere. And so for some of you, this could be having to do with moving to a new stage in a relationship, or the next level, or something like that. Or like, this could be with work or something like that, right? The Eight of Wands in the reverse is basically like, whatever this is, it's definitely causing a delay in being able to move forward or move into a different direction. But this is also like, if this pollution's not taken care of, then something's going to change, and it's going to be me having to move in a different direction, you know? That's the Eight of Pentacles that's just popped out, but I'm not going to take it. Why is this? Give me one more for that Eight of Wands in the reverse. Because this is when everything comes to a halt. If you can't get yourself in a certain position, then I'm leaving. You know, everything's coming to a halt here. Or you're not going to be able to move forward. Yeah, the Lovers. So basically, this feels like saying, if this can't be fixed in this dynamic or this situation, then I can't choose this for myself, you know, with the Lovers there. What is this? Here, what is this? Yeah, for some of you, this has to do with moving. Or, again, this is needing to take a deeper look at something that was never finalized or never settled. Like, we never really got to the bottom of that, or we never did really decide what we were going to do. We talked about it, but then you never said, you know? What's that what's the Seven of Swords that's here? The Devil. I was afraid of that. This is the toxicity that's here, needing to have a wake-up call, needing to wake up to this. This is like needing to repent, you know, with the Seven of Swords. This could even be looking at somebody in a relationship and saying, why do you keep lying to me, you know, about what you're doing or about this or that? You need to stop. You need to wake up to that. Like, you're going to have to face judgment. The Eight of Cups in the reverse. there's something here that you're sensing that the other person has an inability to be able to walk away from. Does that make sense? Like you get so far down the line, and then emotionally in some way, like you have an inability to walk away, and you just repeat the cycle again. You get stuck in your head, you can't walk away, and then you just repeat the cycle. This could even be like a friend looking at you going, hey, like, get out of this toxic relationship. Every time you get so far gone, something happens, you emotionally, like someone gets you in your head, and then you end up not being able to walk away from it, and then you repeat a cycle again. Tell me about the Two of Swords in the reverse with that. Queen of Wands in the reverse. Ooh, Queen of Swords in the reverse. King of Pentacles in the reverse. This is like someone's not living up to their word, right? Someone's not following through with their word. Or this is looking at your spouse and saying, hey, you know, that person that you've been hanging out with, I'm telling you, is not good for you. Like, you're not honest when you're around that person. They take you down a bad path, you know, and it causes issues between me and you. It's this kind of feeling that's here to this. This could be somebody else too, as far as this, you know, somebody else that's causing an influence on your person, or somebody that you're dealing with here in a negative way. And it's like, this isn't over here. We still need to talk about this. There's the Eight of Pentacles again. This is like, in order for us to proceed forward or to move forward, I need you to stand up to this person. I need you to, this is about cutting out here. This Queen of Swords in reverse, she's the one that's doing the cutting, right? So this could be somebody asking you to cut someone else off, cut someone else out, or you're asking someone else to do that. So let me just put that into perspective. Let's just say that you're in a relationship with somebody and they have another person in their life that is causing issues between the two of you. This is someone that they keep interacting with in some way, and you have to kind of draw the line and say, okay, it's either, you know, you cut this off, cut this out, or I'm gone. You know, it's that kind of feeling that's there for some of you. In order for us to be able to move forward and make this work, you need to really take a deeper look here at the damage that this is causing here. Interesting. So what's a possible outcome here? If Capricorn energy down here too. What's a possible outcome here? The Nine of Swords in the reverse. The Four of Pentacles. So there's a feeling of getting out of your head about something because you don't want to lose something, you don't want to let something go. It's also about putting up boundaries. The Four of Swords in reverse, but there's still overthinking going on here. That's frustrating. It feels like you don't really get anywhere. It's like you temporarily kind of release this stress or this anxiety, but putting up boundaries here, but there's still overthinking. The Five of Wands in the reverse. The Ten of Swords. I feel like you're dealing with somebody here that's going to put up their defenses still at some point. This could be an energy here of overthinking some sort of betrayal, or overthinking like what something's gonna lead to, and not being able to get past that. I hate to say, this is potential, okay? This doesn't mean what's gonna happen. This means this is a possibility of what could happen. This feels like somebody that can't stop thinking about it, and it's still resulting in some sort of ending here. This can even be like going your separate ways here with someone in order to take a break, but the break lasts longer than you originally intended for it to, and then it leads to that ending. Or while you're in that break with that person, you realize there's certain things that they need to figure out themselves, and you decide to walk away, you know. Page of Wands. Page of Swords. Ten of Wands. So this feels like what happens is somehow or another this eventually, I feel, comes back together, because that Page of Wands and Page of Swords is communication coming through, a message coming through. The Ten of Wands is showing, you know, wanting to release the burden, the weight that you're carrying. The Three of Swords, wanting to release the pain, the separation. The Knight of Cups in the reverse. And the King of Wands in reverse. I feel like eventually someone's going to send some kind of message here around the pain that they feel from whatever's occurred or whatever's happened. And I think at that point, you're going to have to make a decision. So ultimately, this is someone trying to tell the other person, hey, you need to fix the situation here. It's going to lead to this ending, basically. Or it's going to lead to, I have to separate myself here from this. Or you need to really focus on this, because if you don't, I'm telling you, it's going to end in a disaster, you know. Wanting the best, basically, for the other person in the dynamic here. But the other person, I feel like, there may be some kind of conflict around this. Like you don't see eye to eye, or the other person's not seeing it, or they're not looking at it correctly. I feel like it just doesn't go the way that you intended for it to. Maybe it does for a momentarily, but then it kind of reverts back to the way it was. It's like you don't ever get like something completely resolved in some way. But there's this energy here of needing to kind of separate yourself, because there's a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety and a lot of stuff going on here. So if we can't figure this out, we just need to kind of break our ties here for a little bit. Or it's just, even if you know this is your spouse, it's like, can we just put some distance between us for a little bit so I can kind of clear my head thoughts and get out of this, because this is stressing me out. It's messing up other areas in my life. Like I can't focus on anything I need to. So that's there. There's these boundaries that are put between you and someone else. In this time frame where these boundaries are placed, there's this distance that's created where you get overly in your head about it, because like the distance is there. It's like, how can you go so long without talking to me? How can you go so long without you know, now that I've thought about it, overly thought about it, now I'm back where I was. You know, it's just like you had the best of intentions of taking a break, but then it actually leads to understanding why something just needs to come to an end for some of you, or it leads to the downfall. Like this needs to stop one way or another, period. And then you hit this message that comes through where someone's wanting to communicate, and they want to communicate how this has been such a weight on them, and that they're heartbroken here, and there's this idea of how something was handled, or the direction that something went in. For some of you, this is just looking at the truth of the matter, that whoever this is, they may end up, not everybody, okay, but this can be someone that ends up moving in a different direction for some of you. And I'll always feel like that if you are in a relationship with someone, okay, and you have the best of intentions with that person, and you want what's best for that person. If you're in a lover's type of relationship, which is on the table, you're pointing that person out. You're holding that person accountable because you and that person have a particular way of, especially if you're married here, of vows that you have set with one another to hold each other accountable. And if you see someone that's headed down a bad path, of course you love and care about that person. You're going to try to keep them from doing that. But if they don't listen to you, they just don't listen to you, they continue to go down that path, then you have to look out for yourself, right? So there's this feeling of that that's here. And for some of you, this is like realizing that there's not a whole lot that you can do with the situation because someone's not hearing you out, not listening to you. Yeah, the Two of Wands in reverse. They're just going, that's bad path. That's the bad path that's there. And Justice in reverse. And it's not fair. And there's the Six of Pentacles. Again, not being fair. And there's the Tower. Yeah, it sucks. Because they don't see it, you know. They should see you as being someone that's bothering their fulfillment that they're feeling. You know, it's just like a friend being in a bad relationship and you're like going, I see you going, you were doing so good, and then I see you going down that bad path. Gently want to shake you and tell you to stop. Look at what you're doing. Do you really want to go down that all again? You know, you really think it's going to change after the 16th time? It's that kind of a feeling. And the other person, eventually you get to a point where you know, like you have to look at them and say, okay, you're going to continue to do what you're going to do. I can't stand around and listen to this. You know, I can't be that shoulder to lean on when I'm trying to tell you what you're doing is, it's like you keep repeating yourself to that person. You know, it's that kind of thing. Sometimes some of us decide to separate ourselves depending on the circumstances, because it's also affecting your life, you know. If this is somebody that you're definitely with, though, this is like, I mean, I feel like this person's going down the wrong path and they don't see it, and there's nothing that you can do about it, unfortunately. So you trying to wake this person up actually in turn like ends up waking you up. Ends up waking you up. Yeah, the Ten of Pentacles. This could be somebody that's in your family. This could be a family member, something like that, for some of you. This is sucky. You know, having to read this, but that's what it is. I mean, especially that Page of Wands and Page of Swords. At some point, I feel like this person will like be curious, or you will be curious about this person. If this is a relationship thing, yeah, this person has to learn the hard way. I mean, this is just about somebody that's having to learn the harder route. You can't tell this person anything else. Mystical journey. They're on a mystical journey. Number 55. Discovering your true north is a process of continuous change. Be patient with yourself when you feel lost or a little confused. Yeah. You may not understand why this person has to do this, but we all have to learn our lessons in our own way. And sometimes that's repeating cycles over and over until we, you know, finally figure it out. Behind a mask. Look at that. There's a mask there. Number 41. That's 5-2. 555. That's a Tower moment again. And again, at the end of it, I'm telling you, the Tower is for you, understanding that there isn't anything you can do about this. Ultimately. So behind the mask, things may be hidden from you. Make sure that you double check everything and be careful of who you trust at this time, which I think is something you're trying to say. But all right, let's get an overall card for advice. Let's use the affirmators, and then I'll get some initials to close. just flew right on out of there, didn't it? We have love here, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Love is a many splendid thing. Today I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors, like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or a surge of congratulations I feel when I sink a 3-point trash basket shot on the first try, or how bound the chills, how retrograde, right? Or how about the chills that I get while singing along to name that song? You know the one. Okay. All right. To me, this is like doing something with love, you know, trying to do something with love. Yep. Okay. Let's see. We have the cactus, so boundaries is here. Protecting your boundaries. We have Cancer energy here with the crab. You may have been going side to side with this person. It's unfinished. It's going back and forth, back and forth. But protecting yourself is important. Life's what you make it. Yep. You have the owl, so having wisdom. Nobody listens to you. You know what's worse is like a lot of people that like know I do tarot, obviously. They'll say, is that what your tarot cards are saying? I've been in 3 different relationships that has been the other person telling me that. Oh, is that what your tarot card said? Turns out they were a big fat liar. And no, that tarot cards did not tell me that. Maybe they did. But I knew that anyways. You know, I just was waiting for evidence or proof. If you have the hashtag here, just so you know, it's very hard for a reader to read for themselves. When you are in that kind of a state of, you know, the moon delusion, because anything can come out and if you're in delusion, you're just going to pull out your fear, right? Anyway, hashtag, so a lot more under the surface. You have an A that's here, could be important. G, B, K, P, O, I, and W or M. Okay. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you right here. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.